soil, right? So here, as the load carrying capacity of the soil is very less, that's why we are giving some extra strength to the soil by inserting the pile into the soil. So because of that, we have to calculate the what is the capacity of the pile, what is the capacity of the pile, so that it can able to take the load from the superstructure coming here. So in that you can calculate the ultimate bearing resistance and the allowable load. You can calculate both of them. So what is that? The ultimate bearing resistance, QUP. You're going to calculate the QUP of a pile. So QUP is nothing but the ultimate bearing resistance of the pile is defined as the, it can be defined as the maximum load which can be carried by the pile. So how can it be determined? How can it be defined? It can be defined by the maximum load which the pile can carry. It is nothing but ultimate bearing capacity or the ultimate bearing resistance is nothing but the load carrying capacity, how the maximum load carrying capacity of the pile. Okay, so then in the previous unit it is load bearing capacity of the soil, but here it is load carrying capacity of the pile. Next, next is uh, next you have the allowable load. So what does mean by allowable load? What does mean by allowable load means it is the safe load where the pile can carry without any failure. Okay, that is allowable load can be it can be defined as it is a safe load. Allowable load is nothing but the safe load where the pile can carry safely. Safely is nothing but without any disturbance. Okay, where safe load is nothing but the load which the pile can carry safely and is without any failure. So how can it be determined? How can it be determined? Your QA can be determined on the ultimate bearing resistance divided by suitable factor of safety. So what is mean by that? Your QA, allowable load QA, can also be determined as QUP. Okay, QUP, that is nothing but the ultimate bearing resistance divided by factor of safety. This is already we have did in the previous unit also, right? Q safe, Q safe, QS is equal to QU divided by F. Q allowable safe load. Q, that is allowable load, will be equal to your ultimate bearing capacity divided by factor of safety. Okay, this is the formula to determine the QA. Then by the permissible settlement, overall stability of the pile foundation. So we can determine the allowable load by using this formula. QA is equal to QUP divided by the factor of safety. Okay, so next, the load carrying capacity of the pile, that is how much load the pile can carry, that can be determined by using different methods or by using different formulas. So what are the different methods of determining the ultimate bearing resistance and the settlement of the soil or overall stability of the pile foundation? So all these things can be determined by using different methods. So what are the different methods? One is dynamic formula method. Okay, by using some formula we are going to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. So that is nothing but the dynamic formula method. Another one is static formula method. This is also one type of formula where you will going to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile. Another one is pile load test. So this pile load test is almost similar like the plate load test you have did for the soil. Okay, so there what you will be doing in the previous unit, you will be determining the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil by using the plate load test. But here, to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile, you are doing pile load test. So this is the field test. Okay, this is the field test which you are using it. That is to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil at the field itself. Then another one is penetration test. This is used to determine the stability of your pile. Okay, so you have four methods to determine the ultimate bearing capacity. There in the soil, you will be different methods, right? So that is Tarzagi's method you have, IS code method you have, Hansen's method you have, like that. To determine the ultimate bearing capacity, you have different methods. Or the to determine the safe bearing capacity, you have different methods to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. In the same way, you have these different methods to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile. Okay, to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the pile, you have different methods. Two methods are formula methods and another two methods are tests, like field methods. Okay, by using formula, two methods or by using formulas we can determine, and another two methods are by using the field method, where you have to use equipments for that to determine the ultimate bearing capacity. Other two methods are by using the formulas. Okay, so what are the methods? Dynamic formula method, static formula method, pile load test and penetration test. So in this, in your examination, almost all they have asked you this pile load test. And one thing I want to tell you, don't get confused between the pile load test and plate load test. Okay, you have to read properly in the examination which test is this. Is it a pile or a plate? Because it is almost it starts from the same pp and the tests and load are same, so don't get confused with the pile load test and the plate load test. Okay, so next you have dynamic formula method. So in this dynamic formula method, so you have different formulas to determine the ultimate bearing capacity or the safe allowable load. To determine the allowable load, you have different methods for determining the QA, allowable load. So in this, what they are doing is by different hammers. When you are using different hammers, the formula will going to change. Okay, like as I told you, you have different hammers. So what are the different hammers you have? You have double hammer, single hammer, uh, right, double acting hammer, like that, and drop hammer, single acting hammer, double acting hammer, like that. You have different hammers. So first they have determined a single a common formula for determining the allowable load. Then depending on the different types of hammers, they have changed the formula. So by using different hammers, how we will going to calculate the allowable load, that we have to determine. And to determine this by using different formulas, we have assumed something. So what we have assumed that the resistance of dynamic penetration of the pile is the settlement and the penetration of the pile under static and sustained loading. That means we won't take any resistance. Okay, we won't take any resistance offered by the soil particles to the pile when we are inserting into the soil. That means, see, if this is the pile, okay, if this is the pile, this is the ground level. If this is the ground level, and by using the hammer you are penetrating the pile into the soil. So what you are going to do, if you are leaving the hammer, whatever the hammer it may be, single hammer, double hammer, whatever it will be, if you are leaving this hammer into the soil, then what will going to happen, the resistance of dynamic penetration of the pile under static and sustained loading, that will going to decrease. Okay, so the resistance of dynamic penetration of the pile under static and sustained loading, that will going to decrease.
Ma'am, voice is not audible, ma'am. Mark. Host,
What's bro?
you are the host.
Okay, sir.
Guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
So because of some network issue, it is cancelled. Sorry. So, see. So if I want to tell you what happens here, if any person is there, okay, if any person is there, if he is pushing any object, okay, if he is pushing, it won't move as easy as it. Distance for the movement. This is the basic physics, right? So, in the same way, the soil, what happens? The soil particles will also give some resistance to the pile. So, by when we determining this formula, when you are determining this formula, what happens? You are not taking this soil resistance. Okay, we are assuming that the soil is not at all giving any resistance to the pile. Okay, by assuming like that, this formula is been determined. Okay, so what is that formula? Engineering news formula. Okay, so engineering news formula. So the engineering news formula was proposed by in general form. So this is the general form he derived. He derived for the, this is also called as dynamic formula. Okay, so this formula and Willington has determined this formula here. It is a general formula. So what is the general formula he has derived? QA is equal to WH divided by F into S plus C, where QA is the allowable load, H is the height of fall. So what is mean by height of fall? Can any one of you tell me what is meant by height of fall? Height of fall is nothing but your hammer is present here. From which height the hammer? This is nothing but the height of fall. So this is the height of fall. Okay. So from which height the hammer is falling onto the pile? That is nothing but the height of fall. And F is nothing but the factor of safety. So here the factor of safety we will going to take it as 6. Okay, in everything, in all the things, you will going to take the factor of safety as 6. And uh, S is nothing but the final set per blow. That means final set means usually taken as average penetration per blow for the last 5 blows of the dropping hammer. 20 blows of a second hammer. That means what you are going to do is you are going to take uh, the 5 for the 5 number of blows, for the 5 number of blows, how much number of blows you are giving. Okay, for the final set, what is the number of blows you are giving, that you are going to take. Okay, that is how many seconds you have taken, how many 2.5 centimeter for different hammer. They have given you that the empirical constant for
Ma'am, your voice is breaking, ma'am.
guys, now can you hear me?
Yes,
There?
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the disturbances. So as we are in the college, the network is not proper. So that's why this problem is happening. Sorry for that. So what happens here? QA is equal to WH whole divided by FS plus C. Okay. So here, what is mean by QH and S you have seen. So C is nothing but the empirical constant. So that empirical, so that empirical constant, okay, the empirical constant C is what I have to explain. S. Okay, I'll explain you again. Okay, C is nothing but the empirical constant. So for this empirical constant, for different types of hammer, that is for drop hammer, it is 2.5 centimeter. They have already given you. Then for single and double acting hammers, they have given you 0.25. Okay, so what does mean by S? S is nothing but final set per blow. Means what? Final set per blow means usually taken as average penetration. It is taken as average penetration in centimeter. Okay. For at least for the last 5 blows of a drop hammer or 20 blows of a steam hammer. That means, see, what is the penetration? What is the penetration? How much of penetration it is happening when, how much of penetration is happening if when you are giving last 5 number of blows, okay, in the drop hammer. That means if you are giving last 5 number of blows, whatever you are giving, in that what is the penetration happened? That means, see here, you have a pile, okay, you have penetrated by giving number of blows, that is by beating with the hammer, by beating so many times, you penetrated this much of height, your pile has penetrated this much of height, but in the last 5 number of blows, okay, in the last 5 number of blows, what is the penetration? Maybe in the last 5 number of blows, this much centimeter of your pile or meter of pile may insert into the soil or may penetrate into the soil. So this, what is the centimeter? What is the centimeter of penetration happened by the pile in the last 5 blows? In the last 5 blows, 5 number of blows in the, in which hammer? In the drop hammer. Okay, in the dropping hammer, it is 5 number of blows, or for 20 number of blows in the your this hammer, which hammer? Your another hammer is there, no? Single acting hammer, single acting and double acting hammer. So if you are taking single acting and double acting hammer, that is, if you are beating a pile, if you are beating a pile with a double acting hammer, then for the last 5 number of blows, how much centimeter of pile has been went inside the earth, that you have to take as a S. If not, if you are using a single acting hammer and double acting hammer, if here you are using a single acting and double acting hammer, for those things you have to calculate for last 20 blows. Okay, for last 20 number of blows, what is the depth or what is the centimeter of your pile went inside the earth, that you have to take it as the S. Now you got it, what is meant by S? Okay, so S will be in the centimeter. That means how much of penetration happened in last 5 number of blows for a drop hammer. What is the last penetration? How much of centimeter of penetration happened for last 20 number of blows in the single and double acting hammer. Okay, and C is nothing but the empirical constant, that will be equal to 2.5 centimeter for drop hammer, 0.25 centimeter for single and double acting hammer. So by taking these things, that is the factor of safety has 6 and C is equal to 2.5 and C is equal to 0.25. For these two hammers, they have given a different formula. So what they have given you? They have given you like this. So for drop hammer, QA is equal to WH all divided by your factor of safety. They have taken it as 6, and S you have to calculate their result, and W is nothing but the weight, right? Weight of the hammer, and H is nothing but the height of fall. So at what height of fall you have taken, there only you're going come to know. Then S, how much of centimeter penetration. So that also while doing only you'll come to know. So these things, they have left these things, and if you are using a drop hammers, then your QA will be equal to factor of safety will be 6, and for drop hammer C is equal to 2.5 centimeters. So they have substituted that. So QA is equal to WH whole divided by 6 into S plus 2.5. In the same way, for single acting steam hammers, for single acting steam hammers, QA is equal to, as I told you, the single acting and double acting hammers will be operated in the steam or the compressed air, right? So that's why single acting steam hammers, they have called it as single acting steam hammers. So single acting steam hammers will be equal to QA is equal to WH divided by 6S plus 0.25 centimeter for the single and double acting hammers. So that's why 0.25. In the same way, for double acting hammers, QA is equal to W plus AP. So here A and P is the again they have taken. So what is it by A and P? Here for the double acting hammers, you are using the piston. Okay, for double acting hammer, you are using a piston. So rather than the height of fall, they have taken the piston area, that is effective area of the piston, and pressure, mean effective steam pressure. Okay, the steam pressure and the area of the piston they have taken rather than the height of fall. Okay, so height of fall also they have taken, but extra what they have taken is they have taken the, with the weight of the hammer, they have taken the effective area of the piston and also mean effective steam pressure. Because see, double acting is nothing but, why, if your double acting hammer is nothing but, if you are pulling up, at that time also you are giving some pressure. For pulling up, you are using the steam pressure for pulling the hammer. And also in the single and double acting hammers, your hammer will be dropping by gravity, by means of gravity. What you're going to do, you're going to make it up and you leave it, so that by the means of gravity it will going to fall. But in the double acting hammer, it won't happen like that. For double acting hammer, you will pull it up, and then afterwards what you will going to do, for making it down, That's why they have taken AP. Okay. W plus AP into height of whole divided by 6 into S plus 0.25. As we told, 0.25 centimeter for the double acting hammers. Okay, so these are the different formulas to determine the allowable bearing capacity of the pile. So how much capacity of load it can withstand, that we can calculate by using these formulas. Got it? What are the formulas we have to use for different types of hammers, and what are all the things we have in this? All of you got it? If you have any doubt,
No, ma'am.
sorry, your voice is not audible. Who is talking? Yes. A is nothing but the effective area. This P is mean effective steam pressure. That means you are giving some pressure to your pile so that the hammer will come down. To come down, the hammer, for coming down of the hammer, we are giving the hammer. For pulling it up, the hammer, if you are pulling it up, there also you are giving the steam to pull it up and to make it down, to leave it down or to leave it on the pile. For that also you are using the steam pressure for pushing it down. Okay, for pulling and pushing, for both of them you are using the pressure. That is nothing but the mean pressure. Okay, for pulling up and pulling down, what is the steam pressure you are using? That is nothing but the P. A is nothing but the area of the piston, because by using the piston only you are making the hammer to make it up and down. Okay, so that's why we have taken A as the effective area and P is the pressure, mean pressure of the mean steam pressure. Okay, mean pressure of the steam which you are giving. Got it? Now you got it?
Yes.
Okay. So for today, I'll stop here. So in the next class, we will see another formulas and the pilot test and all those things. Okay. So please keep it in mind. Don't send through WhatsApp if you are putting for the revaluation.